thing will open. I need some sharp. Go. What's up, everybody? Trying to set up this gimbal here. Nice thing is it can charge my phone too while it's on it, so that's pretty nice. What's up, Cooper? Yeah, unless you follow me on Instagram, you probably won't know. Well, you won't know at all. But bought a really nice gimbal so you can see, like, I can freely move this thing around, up, down, right, left, all the way up, all the way down. If I was actually connected to the app, it could actually track me and move, follow me as I go. So if I move to the left, the whole thing would actually it's just an auto tracking feature that it has, but you have to actually be connected to the app, and I don't know if I can go live from. I don't know how all that works yet, so we'll see. Probably need to move this tripod down. Yeah, it just makes it way nicer instead of having to constantly move a tripod. Now I just have a little. Just makes it real nice. Definitely was worth buying. And makes the videos a little more professional too. I already filmed a couple videos with it. It does make it a lot nice. I need to learn. I'm not used to use something like that. I'm just so used to using my hands and filming. So I'm just not used to actually physically moving the phone with this keypad thing here. But eventually I'll get it down to where, like right now how it moves so fast and stuff. Eventually I'll get it down to where it's a little more smooth. It's pretty fun. Yeah, I really wish you could use all the features and not have to deal with the app at all. It'd be cool if it'd be cool if it had the tracking feature just already built it into it, but because that'd be super nice making videos. Just being able to track me, because I always have to be getting up and down, and it's kind of annoying. My Popeyes. We'll see if anybody. I don't know if anybody's gonna even join tonight, to be honest. But I just filmed a monthly update for the 90p. I actually filmed a lot of videos. I filmed like 6 videos within the last couple days. But I bought a new memory card, so I'm able just to pre-record. I was pre-recording videos before, but I had the SD card that I've had in like all my phones for like the past 5 years. It was the same 32 gig card, and I've been using that for like. And I'm at the point now. Every time I switch phones, I transfer all my basically photos onto that SD card every time I got a new phone. And after like the 4th time now, I have like over 6,000 pictures / a little bit of videos in there too, to where that SD card just finally filled all the way up, and I can't do nothing about it. So I was falling that when I was recording videos, it was kicking me out because there wasn't enough memory. So I went out and bought a bigger memory card. I got a 256 gig, so that should be plenty. Because usually even a 10-minute video is about where I max out at usually, is like 4 gigs. So yeah, there's plenty of space on. And this will be just dedicated to videos, so that'd be kind of nice. Just to be able to, because before I'd have to plan when I record, because I just don't have enough space on my phone to keep all these videos. At least now I can just film. Every time I have a video in mind, I can just go ahead and film it and put it on this card and upload it whenever. So yeah, these last couple of days I've been making a lot of videos. Hopefully once all these tanks are all set up, I'm going to start uploading multiple times a week. Because right now I just do once a week, and I've been doing once a week for 5 years straight now. So I've been staying pretty consistent, but obviously once I get all these other tanks, I'm gonna have to upload more than once. So hoping I start just uploading 2 times, but it could be, it could, if I want to throw extra uploads in there, there might be 3 videos a week. It just depends. But I think my standard, I'll guarantee 2 videos a week, but then I might like have like a throw in third one once in a while. But let's see. I just saw you guys had a question. Hey Jade, any tips on making an aquarium stand? I basically know how to, but what sort of wood did you use? So if you watch my recent, and you might have if you're asking that, but I did actually film my. Let's see if I can flip this around here. So so like I made a video just about a week ago on, or it might have been a couple weeks now, on that stand that I built. That's for the 45C, and then I do have a video on this stand for the 90p. It's the same. The only difference is I built this one out of 2x4s and this one out of plywood, which this one's a lot nicer because of that. Obviously, this one isn't the greatest, but it is stronger than this one. But this one visually looks nicer on the inside, so I have videos on both. This video isn't very good, honestly, so I'd probably recommend watching this video. It's newer. This one's about 2 years old at this point, or a year old, that video is. So this one's was uploaded just recently, but yeah, like the wood I used, basically I use this. You can use just any 3/4 plywood and be fine. Just get a good, a good grade plywood, just something that has nice smooth surfaces, so you don't have to. So when you go to do your finish work on it, you're not filling a bunch of stuff in. But like this plywood I used high grade. So if you don't know, there's different grades of plywood. I got grade A, which is basically just the top of the line, basically used for high end cabinets, kitchen cabinets, furniture, all that. And it costs quite a bit. Like I just needed one sheet, 4x8 sheet, and it costs, those are about 150 a sheet, and that's like starting. Like usually some of them are even like upwards of 200 plus, depending on what type of wood you get. But that one was actually oak, so obviously oak's a hardwood, so really strong. So basically, all you're gonna ever need, really. I mean, you can always go with the even stronger wood than that, but at that point, it just gets too pricey, and really, I mean, unless you have the money, it's fine. But I just recommend going with like a 3/4 oak or birch. Birch will work great too. But yeah, there's like 3/4 walnut. I mean, there's some crazy woods that it starts getting crazy prices, which I mean they're really strong, but there's really no point, especially when you're already gonna paint it and cover it up anyways. If I was gonna buy something like a walnut, I'd rather see it exposed and paint it over. So yeah, just a 3/4 oak plywood is all you're really gonna need. And the amount of sheets you're gonna need just depends on the size of the stand. But like, but for a 20 gallon and below, one sheet's plenty. But if you go any bigger than that, yeah, you'll definitely need a couple sheets or more. Let's see. But yeah, I'd recommend checking out that video. I kind of just, it still wasn't the greatest, but I at least kind of go through the steps and like every little thing I did, basically. Just kind of a rough step by step. But yeah, that cabinet wasn't too bad. It's definitely was way better than what my 90p was. But my 90p at the end of the day was actually easier to build. But even that 45C wasn't too bad. But if you've never built much things before, it might be kind of complicated just because if you're not used to doing stuff like that. But that stuff is basically what I do for a living, so it's not too bad. I can make that. I built that cabinet within an hour. Once the pieces were all cut and put together, and then obviously the finish work was what took the longest. Obviously waiting between coats to dry and all that. Filling it, sanding it. 3 coats of paint. I did 3 coats of primer, and then I did 3 coats of paint. So quite a lot of coats. But it is for an aquarium. So the only reason I do that is because I know water's going to be getting on it, so just to be sure, so it lasts a long time. You're already painting it, might as well just do it right. But yeah, that's the last cabinet I'll build for a while, because obviously everything else behind me is on the desk. And then my 120p, I'll have to build a cabinet for that eventually, but that's the last cabinet I think I'm going to have to build. and that one will also be out of just 3/4 only. Be a little bit bigger, be a 4-foot cabinet, so incredibly larger. But yeah. But yeah, I think, well, it should be uploaded now. I just uploaded the newest video today. It was supposed to be uploaded yesterday, but I totally spaced it off. But I uploaded a how-to video today on how to make your own pH solution or drop decker solution. And then what else? And then that's the video I uploaded today. And then I think pre-recorded, I show how to, let's see. One of the videos I showed how to kind of like neatly organize these pendant wires. So I made a video on just how to do that, even though, I mean, not really that hard to do, but I did make a video on that. So that might be like a little extra upload I do for some people that might find it informational, I guess. I like to film everything I can because I was always that person that would search like the simplest things on YouTube and how to do something, and like nobody would have videos. So I always try to film everything I can, even if it's something so simple and dumb. I just still try to film about it because somebody might find it useful, and usually that's the case. I always get a couple people that I try to film the videos that people usually don't upload. But how many tanks do I have? So right now, currently set up and going is just a 90p. Obviously, we just built this house for the past year, so this is a brand new house. So obviously, everything got resetted. But so that's why the 90p is the only tank that's set up right now and going. But that's set up, and then obviously this one's new. This is the next one that's going to be set up. This is a 60p, so that's number 2. There's a, let's see, that tank, that ADA 45p, it might be a 45F. I might switch it out for a 45F, but that's the 3rd tank. And then, let's see. Let's switch it. Let's see. And then, whoa. And then that 45C will be the 3rd one. And then obviously the 4th one is my 90p that I have already going. Looks cloudy. Let me wipe the lens. See there? Okay, yeah, that's better. Let's see. But yeah, so this is the only tank that's currently actually like up and running at the moment. But so this tank, we started in June of last year, so I don't know how many months. Let's see, June, July, August, September, October. No, wait, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, January, February. Wow, so this, wow. Well, no, that doesn't sound right. Let's see. So yeah, this tank's like pushing 7 months, I think, at this point. But yeah, so basically this will be for the ADA contest this year, how it looks right now. And then, of course, we're going to tear it down sometime in the summer, this tank. So before we know it, this tank will probably be getting tear down. But we'll just have to see. It just depends on, really, money really isn't an issue when it comes to this because everything's already there. It's not like I'm setting up a whole brand new setup. It's just rescaping it. So, just buying, new rock, soil, and plants, obviously. It's still probably going to be, to rescape this tank, I mean, it's easily going to be $1,000 easily. But that's not, I mean, that's nothing compared to what it actually costs to buy all the equipment. But yeah, we'll rescape it. And basically the plan is to do a Iagumi, just a classic Iagumi. Because I feel like we're going to go pretty crazy on like that 45C and then the 120. So those are going to be quite a bit. And so I think at least the style that I'm going to do for those tanks, I think if I just do a classic Iagumi in this 90p, and I think it's just the perfect size for it, I think it'd just be better. I think it would look really good, and then it'd just be easier maintenance. So having just a carpeting plant would help a lot. Less trimmings, even with CO2, I mean, carpets, you're not going to trim very often, maybe once a month once it's established, but usually a couple months. But it depends how low you want it. Like mine, I'll probably keep mine pretty low just so it doesn't get too out of hand. But but yeah, we'll see. I got Frodo Stone coming, so I got like 300 pounds coming right now. That will be here in like 3 weeks, and then that's just for like that Frodo Stone. Like that 300 pounds is like for all the three tanks I just showed you, and then I'm supposed to be getting some really big pieces, so I might be able to have some for this tank, but I don't know if I'm gonna have enough or not. So we'll just to see. But if I get like a lot of pieces that'll work for this tank, that'll be great. Because then I don't have to buy more. But we'll just see what we get. Because I would like to get some real nice, huge pieces of Frodo for this stone, for this tank. Even if it costs a couple $100 a stone. I mean that's what it's gonna take. Whatever to make it look good. Because yeah, Frodo stone is so dense. I mean it is a heavy rock. You don't get much for your money, that's for sure. But it looks. I mean it's probably one of the best looking rocks out there, for sure. Any tips on easy carpeting plants? So easy carpet plants. I mean, Monte Carlo, dwarf hairgrass. Let's see. Those two are probably the best. I'd maybe even throw in some Glossostigma in there, but that one's a little more demanding, I would say. But I've seen it done a million times though. But yeah, those three are definitely the best. Like Monte Carlo is what I have up here in this center, and that's what also I'll be using for the new Scape 2. I'll carpet in Monte Carlo. I think Monte Carlo just looks the best out of every single plant, or at least carpeting wise to me. I think it look obviously Dwarf Baby Cheese is very close. It's a little bit smaller than Monte Carlo, but it's usually a little more demanding. So that's why I usually recommend Monte Carlo more. Can a Monte Carlo carpet grow without CO2? Yes. Yes, but I'd also say kind of no at the same time. But yes, it can be done. If you actually go back on my channel and if you go back far enough, not that far. I mean, you'll see my old 20-gallon. You can actually click on my playlist on my channel. I have a 20-gallon playlist. It should say like 2018 to 2020 or 2017 to 2020, my old 20-gallon. And you'll see that was a low-tech series tank. So that was like a whole low-tech series that we did, no CO2. And I actually carpeted that whole tank with Monte Carlo without CO2. And as long as you're given pretty good light and you're at least dosing some type of nutrients, um, it it'll grow, but just to warn you, the only thing, if you just need to be really patient because the only problem is it grows extremely slow without it. So, like, say, like, if I planted densely on this tank with CO2, probably about a couple months, and the carpet would probably be pretty well filled in. Say if I had no CO2 in this tank, I mean, if I still planted pretty densely, I mean, it could take up to a year to carpet this whole tank. So that's just the difference there. So yeah, the biggest thing there is just time if you wanted to wait that long, but it's definitely can be done. But yeah, like my 20-gallon, I had some problems in the beginning, so it kind of screwed it up, but roughly it still took about a year to carpet that 20-gallon. And really, it doesn't look no different. It still looked really good. It looks really green. It's just, yeah, it just takes forever to grow. But yeah, when it definitely comes to carpeted plants, CO2 just makes the process go a lot faster. But you also could spend more money and spend a little money on some more plants, plant a little more dense, and that definitely helps. But some people they don't want to spend a lot of money and barely plant it, and then it takes literally forever. So the more you can plant, the better. If you're doing no CO2, with CO2, you can get away with a little less plants, just because things are gonna grow a little faster than usual. Do I get brown hair algae when you start up your tanks? Fun fact on me on algae when it comes to algae, I've actually really never had algae ever in my tanks. Obviously, I've had like your regular brown algae, like when you first start up your tanks. I mean, that happens in every tank. So I've had that. I've had, I've had a little bit of green spot algae over the years, and I've had, you know, just a regular green algae, like hit and miss sometimes, and then I've had blue green algae, again here and miss. But I mean, in the 10 years I've kept aquariums, I have never ran into issues with algae. Not to a point where it got like bad. I mean, I've had like again like little spots here and there, but they went away within days. So I've never had a true issue with algae ever in my life. So I would say I'm quite lucky with that. But yeah, hair algae, I don't have any. Well, to answer your question, hair algae, I don't think I've ever had a hair algae ever in my tanks, ever. So I can't really elaborate on that one. Usually, hair algae is a usually I say usually is a CO2 problem, but it could be a million different things too, just depending on how your setup is. But if it ever gets real bad, like the store I work at, we'll just take Excel and just put it in a syringe and just spot dose it, and it goes away within. It'll die off. It'll die off, and usually die off within like a few days. It'll start turning a different color, usually like a red or pink, depending on what type of hair algae you have, and then usually the fish will eat it right off. Not a true carbon flip. I've seen people use S repens. It looks pretty good. Yeah, actually, fun fact: S repens is one of my favorite plants ever, and it's actually in this tank too. Those are S repens, and then I also have a bush going around here, S repens. It's not fully grown in yet, but yeah, you can carp it if you keep it trimmed. You can carp it with S repens. I've seen it many times. It's more of a mid ground plant, so it's just it, it's going to be really tall for a carpeting plant. But yeah, if you're going for that look, if you're going for a certain look, yeah, S repens can be really nice looking. I know Alka Pros, he did a tank. Man, I don't know how long ago it was, but he had an S repens carpet, and it looks pretty cool. But yeah, you just have to really plan out escape that, make it look good. Because yeah, it's a mid ground plant, so a little too tall for all that. But yeah, I definitely love S repens as a mid ground plant. You can really do it. It brings a lot of detail to the tank when you use it right. Let's see. Yeah, I've got Monte Carlo and S repens in my 60p. Think about make my 60p more easy maintenance before setting up a 90p. Like yeah. Yeah, CO2. I mean, this is what I always tell people like the store and stuff. CO2, it's a big upfront cost, especially if you want to do it the right way. It's a big cost at first, but over time it's probably the cheapest thing you'll ever have to keep going with your tanks. Because I mean, you once you get filled up for 10-20 bucks, depending on your size, like this 90p, a 5 pound will last up to a year, and I mean 10-20 bucks a year, that's pennies compared to what else I spend on this tank. But yeah, upfront cost, it's definitely a bigger cost up front, but over time it's not too bad. Like all my CO2 setups, I basically buy the best stuff every time, and it's around like 500 bucks, 400 or 500. Because like the regulator that I buy GLAs, they're 300. You buy a tank, that's about 100 bucks usually. Once you get your CO2 tubing, or if you go inline or diffuser, it really don't matter. By the end of that, you're probably in it another 100 bucks. So yeah, about 500. I started with a Fluid 95 kit, not the greatest, but does what I need to do. Would love a proper setup eventually. Yeah, the Fluvials, yeah, they're not too bad. It's that whole like just they're really small and they don't really. I mean, they'll last you quite a bit in like little nano tanks for sure, but on bigger tanks, yeah, they're not really. You, you're really spending more money on those than you would an actual setup. But they're a cheaper upfront cost though, way cheaper than starting a full setup. But yeah, like I can show you guys on this 90p. Let's see here. Nope. So this is basically So this, like what you're seeing right here, is basically like the best on the market. This is basically as good as it gets when it comes to a C2 setup. So obviously I got a 5 pound tank and then a GLA regulator, which these are the best regulators on the market currently. Real nice. Like I said, they're about 300, but they really do make a difference. They're gonna last you a lifetime. And then obviously built-in counter right there, which is nice. And I got my CO2 tubing going up, and then obviously it goes up to my new diffuser right there. So, which for this big of a tank, probably inline or reactor is probably the best. But the only reason I did have an inline on this tank at first, but my filter was messing up. It actually came broken. I think something with the impeller was broken at first, so I wasn't getting the flow that I needed to. So the inline just wasn't cutting it at first. So that's why I switched to an in tank, and I never went back to inline ever since. So inlines work great, but I just kept the in tank diffuser. I don't mind it. So, and it works great. You could see, I mean, you could see all the CO2 bubbles going all the way across. Definitely does what it needs to do. But yeah. But yeah, I trimmed all this. That's why it doesn't look very great at all. The back stems look kind of horrible, but I trimmed everything quite a bit. But from a top view, it looks pretty good though. Oh, still learning the movements. This thing, yeah, looks pretty nice. Yeah, I got this like obviously the 45C. This is half of a 90p. So if you just split this tank right in half, you get a 45C. Which this 88 tank is discontinued now. Fun fact: I actually bought the last one pretty much in existence that they had, so I got pretty lucky there. They actually sold out, and then they actually found one more, and I got a hold of it. So got pretty lucky there because if I wasn't able to get that tank, I don't know. I don't think I would have had a tank at all right here, because this space is so small that I don't know if I would have. I mean, I guess I could have put like I could have done like a 60p right here. I don't know, but it just wouldn't have filled the space like this does. This fills this corner real nicely. Thanks, channel. But yeah, this cabinet's pretty nice. Obviously, I put the black mat down. This one's all painted in the inside, so quite a big difference between, cameras. Let me see. I think my gimbal's going dead. Let me just take the phone off the stand real quick. Okay. So yeah, so you can see like the whole inside of this one's painted, so it's way nicer than a 90p. Obviously, got a plug right there. Then I had a motion sensor light in this tank, but this tank is all dark in the inside, so I really can't get it to light up as good. So I had to actually go with a plug-in one, but this one's actually motion sensor, so when I open this cabinet up, you can see it automatically turns on. So it makes that nice. But this cabinet, I just had to have a switch, which is whatever. So that's like a more dim mode, and then obviously you can turn on bright to where you can actually see everything. But I need to vacuum out all the mess I made. But I cut up one of my 88 mats and glued it down there, so it gives it a nice look and also a cushion for all the stuff. But and then I also, yeah, it's the gimbal. Went dead on me. Let's see if I can get this out of the way. So like down here for my 2 tanks, so I put a board across the back of my desk that I built last year, and then so I'll be able to set all my equipment on that. So I put another pad down, and then I'll say I got my ADA Superjet for this tank ready to go, and then obviously my CO2 will just sit right next to it, and then same for over here. Everything will sit right here for this tank. So yeah, I'm basically as far as I can go with all my setups. Now I'm just waiting on scaping supplies, waiting on my stone, because once I get my stone and my lily pipes, I'm waiting on an inlet, and then I'll be ready to go. And then once I get the stone, I can go ahead and scape this tank, finish it out, and then get it filled, flood it. we'll have to order plants too, so that'll slow down the process, but that shouldn't take long, you know, a week. But did I make those cabs? What do you mean by cabs? Unless I'm just being stupid right now. Yeah, I didn't. Let's see. Oh, cabinets. Okay, I see. Never mind. I didn't know what cabs meant. Yeah, these cabinets I built. Yeah, I, I can pretty much make ADA cabinets to the exact. So yeah, yeah. Yeah, I do make all my cabinets myself. Oh, you're all good. What kind of scape do you have in mind for the 45C? So Victor, so the plan is, I think I still have the picture up from last stream. So this is a this isn't a very good picture at all, but basically, so this is like a side view. So basically, if we're looking at it from this side, basically it's gonna be really sloped from that side, but then from like a front view, it's gonna look like this, to where there's gonna be obviously stems in the back, and then it's just gonna be like almost like a V rock structure. If you can kind of see what I'm doing here with the drawing, I don't know if that even looks or makes sense, but until I do it, some people aren't gonna see what I mean by that. But once I do it, so it's just gonna be sloped really far up, and it's kind of hard to really explain honestly, but I would I'd call it like a Brazilian style basically is what you should expect. Kind of Iagumi slash Brazilian style is what I'm kind of going for there. Yeah, yeah. I was thinking about actually once I kind of get all my tanks set up and I'm not spending a whole bunch of money. Yeah, that's what I was actually thinking. If I can get people locally that want 80A tanks and want them built, I can definitely. I was really thinking about, and I probably will do it. Building these for people. So yeah, it's definitely an option that I could possibly do. How do you open those cabinets? I'm assuming you're meaning the doors, but you can let me know if I'm totally wrong on that. So all these, like this cabinet, for example, has I actually don't know what you call these, roller clamps. So basically, it just has this little thing on the end and this thing. So basically, if you look at it, it just basically goes right inside there, and then it pushes it and holds it in there. So that door. But on this cabinet, I have push pins to where you just push it and it opens. So you have these magnetic push pins, and so it just clicks, and it clicks in like that. So super nice, makes it modern too. The only reason I couldn't do the push pins on this one is because for this to work, the door has to stick out quite a bit, and obviously with this only being a one door, it basically looked like this, to where the end of the door would stick out a little more, and so that's why I had to go with this type of hinge, but it still works. But yeah, the push pins are really nice. It's just, really simple. Thanks, Victor. Thanks, everybody. But yeah, that's kind of the plan. I'll have to figure out I still don't know how I'm gonna. I definitely gonna hang a pendant, but I just need to figure out how I'm gonna hang it. I mean, I could use the same bar that I used for the 60. What's up, Jay? The only problem is that the small they make is a 2 foot, which is this one, which this tank is 2 foot, but this one's 18 inches. So my only problem is if I go to use that same stand, it's gonna stick out to about here, or really closer to this edge of this tank, which is gonna look really weird. And so I don't know, unless I come off this side and then cut off the end, like grind it off to where you don't see it. I could possibly do it that way, and I just might because that's really the only option I got. I could hang them from the ceiling like I did this one, but right here, I just don't think it's gonna be a very good spot to do that in. And plus, I have stuff hanging up right here, so it's just gonna get in the way. But yeah, we'll figure it out when the time comes, but hopefully we'll be all right. But I plan to do a UNS Titan 1 on this tank, change it up a little bit. And then this tank I'll actually switch out for a 88 solar RGB. Let's see. Do I use EI ferts? Currently, no. Basically, these days what I use is ADA ferts, and that's basically all I'll ever use, unless some scapes require a little more nutrients, then I'll go to Tropica. But these two are the only two I'll use. I just prefer to dose lean, but if I need more ferts, like say if I'm doing some like this tank for example, I'm gonna have to use Tropica because I'm gonna have a lot of Monte Carlo growing on this driftwood, and so obviously Monte Carlo needs a lot of nutrients to the roots, and if they're not planted in soil, they're not gonna get that. So I'm gonna have to dose a little more in that tank. So I'll actually have to dose Tropica for that tank. But yeah, any other tank I try to use the ADAs. Then obviously I'm pretty much an ADA store at this point, but obviously this is my closet, but I turned it into basically a fish room. Obviously we've got an RODI here, got shelves of a million things, ADA soil. And then I got all my equipment hanged up. We got our hashtag fish fam sticker collection if you haven't seen that before. It's our local collection. We have about like 500 people on here now. But yeah, I just try to stay organized as best I could. Try to display everything. But yeah, that's all that is. Let's see. I missed one of the live streams, but I'll watch it again. Yeah. Yeah, the last major live stream was that last one, and I thought you were in it, Jay, so you might have not missed anything. I did a little bit of, I know I filmed a little bit of a live stream, but I like ended it after like 10 minutes. So I don't think you really missed anything, to be honest. Sometimes I just go live to see if people are on. The dream is to have such room nice. Yeah, I would say. Yeah, it's pretty nice. Obviously, it could always be better, but I think I've done a pretty good job at, creating something that looks good and also, efficient. Yeah, obviously, room isn't very big, but I've found a way to do the things I can. Like the original plan was this bed to go like right here, and then I was actually gonna have two 120p's against this wood wall. That's kind of why I had this accent wall right here, because the whole purpose was me to have two tanks right here. But the room just didn't end up working out like that, so I ended up only putting one right there, then the bed right there. So, but I kind of like it better that way though, because then we were able to build this last it was probably last year at this point. I built this big old desk to where we can put our two tanks and obviously our big monitor. It's gonna go right there eventually in the corner, but this is like a 10-foot desk, so it's 10 foot by 4 foot. So a really big desk, which makes it nice for, obviously having our tanks and still having room for some desk. So, ooh, my JJ Aquarius pillows on the floor. Somebody made that for me. Pretty nice. Let's go back to your questions here. Do I use anything other than ADA? At this point, probably not. Honestly, I use other stuff. But yeah, like my majority of my additives, like soils, tanks, equipment. Yeah, most of the stuff if I can, if it makes sense, I use ADA. But some stuff I have to change it up just because, depending on the setup. But if I can, I try to use ADA if I can. I just like quality stuff. I just like stuff that lasts forever. So if I can, I always try to buy the best possible. But tank wise, yeah, like I won't buy any other tank than ADA. But like filter wise, like yeah, I do use super jets, but like this tank, for example, like it just depends on the setup, but like I use Awazas as my second option. And like lights, like obviously on my bigger tanks I use solar RGBs, but like on my smaller tanks I'll use twin stars. So it just depends on the setup, but for the most part I'll use ADA. Watch from the UK, that's what's up. Thanks for watching. And we got everybody, England, UK. You guys got all the good stores up there. Got all the good aquarium stores. I always feel sorry for Dave and the team. They need tropical plants. Epic pillow. It is pretty epic. Yeah, UK, really just Europe. Basically anywhere but the United States has all the good aquarium stores. Like I work at, like part-time I work at an aquascaping store and they're pretty good, but again, it's nothing like what's over there. Like they sell ADA. We're actually a ADA retailer, so that's why I have so many ADA products, because I get a discount on them. But we're ADA retailer. We're a twin star retailer, ONF, UNS. So yeah, and Tropica, of course. So yeah, we're like the store I work at is about as good as it gets. But obviously, again, nothing compared to what the aquascape stores that are in over there in Europe and UK, and you guys got it pretty good over there when it comes to aquarium equipment. Have I heard about Aquarium Co-op? Yeah, I've actually been to a store and met him before. Met him a couple times actually. Yeah, I've known Corey for 6 years. He actually used to, before he got super big on YouTube. He actually watched he'd watch my channel quite a bit in the early days. If you actually go back on my old videos, you'll actually see Aquarium Co-op in my comment section a lot. I recently convinced my girlfriend to go. Oh yeah, Green Aqua. Yeah, that's the place I want to go to. Yeah, basically my plan is one day is to fly over there and go to Green Aqua, and then from there fly over to Japan and go to the ADA gallery. That'd be the ultimate goal right there. Yeah, Green Aqua. Fun fact: if you guys watch Green Aqua, which I'm pretty sure everybody does, but they actually have featured my tanks on their channels quite a bit. This one right here, and some other ones in the past too. Yeah, I'm good friends with Green Aqua. Let's see. Yeah, I kind of wish when they used my tank in one of their reviews, one of the review videos. It kind of sucked. They used this tank, and it was like the picture that they used of this tank was like literally like the first month of this tank, so nothing was grown in, no plants at all. Like the plants were like this tall, so it kind of sucks. It would have been better if they showed this tank at like how it looks now, but it was whatever. It was still cool to be a part. It's cool to be a part of their videos. But yeah, they've shown this tank like 3 or 4 times. What's your favorite plant to have in a tank? It kind of depends on the scape, but like my overall, it's probably some of the more easier, like Anubias. I love Boost. I love Boost a lot, especially some of the smaller species, like the red minis, the black pearls. Um, those are super neat. And then probably like second would be S Repins. And then um, third, it's kind of hard because really there's a lot of plants I'd say are really. I'd probably say I'd probably go with the stem, and I'd probably say this right here, Rotella atra would probably be my third, just because it's under the right conditions, it's probably one of the better red plants. If not for that, I'd probably say AR Mini is really nice because it kind of reminds me of S Repins, but it's red, so I always call them red S Repins myself. Because like when you grow it like I do, it looks really nice when you can kind of bush it up like that. This one's kind of this one's growing. It's not as big as that one yet. Can I get I'm not sure. I've never actually, looked that up. Let me see. Let me put you guys back in the. See, my phone's at 30%. Let me see if I can look that up. Let's see. Internet's even working. Let's see why that's loading. Let's see. It's probably my phone hasn't died yet. Let's see. Probably won't stream for real long tonight just because I have stuff to do, but maybe another 30 minutes or so. Because I'll probably stream again. Probably during the week or maybe next weekend. How do I fund my tanks? So I have 3. I shouldn't say I can afford anything I do. I mean, I find ways that, I save money, so I'm real good with my money. So I save money over time basically, and I plan out all my tanks in advance. Like I all my tanks I usually plan out like a year, 2 years in advance and start saving for them. And like that 90p, I was saving up for like a year and a half before I ever bought it. But I do make quite good money with my main job, but again, like it's still not cheap at the end of the day. Like I'm a carpenter full time, which makes pretty good money, especially here where I am. And then obviously I have 3 incomes. So my carpenter is my full time. Part time on the weekends, I work for the fish store, obviously the aquascaping store that I was telling you guys about. And then my third income is here on YouTube. So, and YouTube and the store are basically what fund. That's why I work at the store, because I also get discounts on products and also get paid for working there. So that's kind of what funds the ongoing cost of my tanks. And then YouTube obviously helps with like paying for some of it, and then the new equipment that I can. And then yeah, my main job just pays for, bills, which really isn't much. I got not really much stuff I got to pay for, but obviously all my tanks, they're, buying fertilizers every month, there is quite a bit of ongoing cost, but really none of it's not too bad. It's just the beginning cost of my tanks. Being all high tech, it's just pretty expensive. My like that 90p, I mean, I'd have to add it all up again, but for sure it's $8,000 as it sits with, the amount of money I have in it. And then like this tank's gonna be a couple thousand. That tank's gonna be a couple thousand. That 45C is like 3 or 4,000. So it's just not cheap. But I just save up, and main thing is just saving up and just not pulling money for no reason. Oh, the red plant. Let me see. Let me see if I can. I don't think I can comment, but it's Rotella atra. Let me. Yeah, I could spell it out for you, because sometimes you go to look that up and it's like confusing. Let's see. So that's how you spell right there, Rotella atra, so it's just HRA. Or that's another name to call it too. Some people call it Rotella HRA, but the real pronunciation is Rotella atra. But yeah, that's how you spell that right there. If you ever want to look it up on your own time. But do I have internet yet? Oh, my laptop's messing up. Doesn't want to connect to the internet. But yeah, we'll see if you guys else have questions. But I'll probably, let's see what time it is. Yeah, I'll probably stream for like another 20 minutes or so, or because my phone's getting pretty dead too. I kind of picked the worst time to stream, like right when my phone's about to die. But just kind of wanted to quick come on, and some people get their questions answered better on the streams. Great plant if you have low nitrate, it goes very red. Yeah. It sure does. Let's see. I recently purchased some Rotala Atra and it came in slightly melted. Any hope that it rebounds? Being a stem plant, I mean, it's possible that it could fully melt and then you're kind of out of plant. But usually with stems, a lot of stems will melt, but one of the, like my original 20 gallon, the biggest thing that tank taught me was patience, because literally all my stems in that tank melted away and I just totally gave up at that point. This was years ago, and basically the best advice people told me as a beginner, when I was a beginner years ago, is patience. And basically that's what I did, is I just waited and waited and just hoped. And it was kind of funny because even though everything melted away, one day just everything grew right back. And so yeah, well, where I'm getting at is stems are harder to melt than other plants. Usually you can melt an entire thing of stems away and they'll still grow back. So it's pretty hard to kill a stem, to be honest. But like mid-ground plants, or like a carpeting plant, Nubius, some of those other ferns, crypts, those plants, yeah, they'll melt away and then they're gone. But stems usually are a little better at not completely dying off. I took some of my high tech tank and put some of my low tech and lost the red color, but it still looks great and grows well. Yeah, like red plants still grow great, but if you really want the true red to come out of them, yeah, you'll have to definitely put them in a high tech. But for like red plants, my best advice for red plants are highlight. I mean, that's a must. CO2, of course, low nitrates, and obviously ferts is a big one too. But as long as you have those four things, you shouldn't have a problem. Oh, and then good soil, obviously. Having a good nutrient soil base is a big one too. But I use all ADA soil, but you also have tropic soil. You have UNS makes a pretty good soil now. Those are probably my top three: Tropica, ADA, and then I'd probably put UNS at 3. But Tropica is a really good one. It's actually the same price as ADA soil too. But I just still prefer ADA. It's just always been good to me, so I just stick with that. Let's see. Yeah, this tank will be pretty cool though. I'm real excited about this one. Basically, the stock for this one, I'll put some real high dollar shrimp in there. If you follow my Instagram, you'll know what I'm putting in there, but because I've posted some pictures. But basically, I plan to do some Galaxy shrimp in there, or Galaxy Pintos. There's a million different names for them, but they're about like 100, like grade SS ones. Basically, the best grade of shrimp you can buy. They're about $100 a piece, which is pretty pricey. But if I get a group of like 6 to start with, won't be too bad. But basically, the plan is to see if I can breed them in here, and then basically start making profit off this tank to where I can breed these high dollar shrimps and make quite a bit of money back. So that's kind of the goal for that. So not only will this tank be a nice, nice scaped tank, it'll also be kind of functional in a way to make money too. But we'll just see. If I can't breed them, then at the end of the day, we still have some really cool shrimp, so it doesn't really matter to me. But it'd be cool if we could breed them. This is the perfect tank to breed them in, so we'll just see what happens. And then and then this 45P, or again, we might do the 45F. I have both, which I might do the 45F instead, but that'll also be a shrimp tank. And that will be I probably won't put as expensive shrimp in there. I'll probably put more common shrimp in there, like some blue dreams or something. Just something that's a little more common, but I might go a little more high grade, like put some tigers or something to where those are like 30 or 40 a piece. Again, like another tank to where we can maybe like breed them and make some profit off of it. Because that'd be another good source of income. Because people love shrimp and they'll pay the money for them. Especially people that are serious. I mean, there's shrimps out there that I can buy right now that are $1,500 a piece. There's some really high dollar stuff out there, and people pay it too. Some crazy people out there, but people are big on that high dollar shrimp. But yeah, like I was saying, like the scape. So basically, I got Frodo Stone coming, and my fingers. So basically, in some type of way, I'll wrap rocks around this bottom and kind of spin it around, and then this spot, and then this whole front's gonna be all open, and then of course over in the back too, all around this is gonna be open sand. So it'll just be all sand in the front here, with of course rocks going all the way around, and then. And the plan is I'll basically fill soil pretty high back here and all in here too, to where we'll actually have Monte Carlo growing in this middle section, or it'll grow all the way back here and maybe go down this log right here and then down and then droop down off this driftwood. So basically we'll just have Monte Carlo growing off this, and then we'll have some mosses growing out of the tank up here. And then we'll also have some stems growing out the tank in this corner here, growing out, let them get pretty tall, probably about this tall. Have a lot of just have a lot of plants growing out the tank up in this section over here. But then then the rest will just be open space for the shrimp. But the goal is, even though there's a lot of good hide spots that the shrimp could be, the goal is just to basically fill all that extra space back there so shrimp have like nowhere to go, so they all stay in the front. Because if I do breed them, it's gonna be kind of a pain to have to net them out if they'll literally go, if they're just gonna hide under the logs all day. So the plan is just try to keep it open in the fronts to where all of them are just gonna stay out in the open all the time. But yeah, the light, honestly, if you haven't been watching, the light ONF flat one, really nice. Controls from the app and stuff, and built-in timer makes it really nice. But it has the touch controls up here to where you tap it. It turns off. And you just tap it like that. Real cool. The stand they make for it's really nice. All handmade steel. All stainless steel. Really like it. But yeah, so I'm waiting on the inlet, and then I can set up the filter, but like I have the output right now for it. Got the ADA. Fancy. Yeah, so basically I got this lily pipe. Let's not break it. So let's see. So yeah, I just got the jet flow. The only reason I had to use this one because the regular lily, it would just been too big and just be a big eyesore. So this one's basically gonna go. I was gonna have it over here, and then I was gonna drill a hole through the desk and have the lily pipes come out this side, but I just don't think that's gonna really work out best. So basically, what I'm gonna do is it's gonna be right back here. You basically sit in the corner like that, and then the flow can shoot out there. Not only will it look better, but you just won't see it as much. But yeah, this is real minimum, so doesn't take up much space at all. But then I'm just waiting for the input, and it'll go in the corner also. Yeah, these ADA lily pots are not cheap, but they're pretty worth it though if you can get them. Pretty much a pair of lily pipes from ADA is going to always cost about $300 once you pay shipping. The good thing is I get discounts, so it helps a little bit, but it's still expensive at the end of the day. see. We streaming for an hour already? Let's see here. Let's see here. Let's see if anybody. Be right back in a second. Okay, let's see. But yeah, it seems like everybody's kind of slowly, people are coming out of the stream. But yeah, I'll give it another 10-15 minutes, guys, and I'll probably head off. But if you have any other questions, definitely ask. Let's see. I don't think. Yeah, I haven't. I need to go ahead and dose my tank. I haven't done that today. Let's see here. Oh, tank's backwards. What's up, Richard? Dose this tank real quick before I forget. It's getting kind of late. Probably not a very good time to dose the tank, but. So we got Brody K and nitrogen. Thanks, Richard. You just do 10 pumps. Then we got iron and mineral. Pumps of everything. Check the TDS real quick. Got Hannah. See if this thing's running at. Not too bad. TDS about 140. We got a pH, Hannah. I'm at about 6.5 right now. I mean, that's all it takes. Simple as that. Let's see. Might feed the fish here in a second too. No, there's not in that tank. There isn't. I was actually saying probably about 10 minutes ago, somebody asked me about algae also. I've been doing tanks for 10 years, and I've never in my lifetime of having aquariums, I've never really had big algae outbreaks. I've had like just like tidbits of algae here and there, but nothing too crazy. Like I've maybe had like a true algae issue maybe twice in my whole life. Once you learn to control it, it's really you don't really ever see it. Mm. Got the merch. But yeah, actually, I have a. It'll actually hang. I'll show you guys. It'll hang over here. But I actually have my. It's a different logo. It's my longer logo. Actually, I think I have it over here. Obviously, I got my main logo for like profiles, and then I have my longer logo, which is just horizontal basically. And this actually, I have a custom metal sign getting made where they're gonna actually laser my logo into it, and also my I guess you say slogan. It's not really a slogan though. It's really just my saying under it. And then I'll also have the YouTube logo and Instagram logo engraved into it. So yeah, that'll look pretty cool. They're still working on it, editing it on the computer and all that, but that should be in the works right now. So like right here on this wall, it'll hang. It'll be about 3 feet long and about 16 inches tall. Be pretty neat. Trying to start decorating this room a little bit, make it look a little, add some cool decorations like that. I got the. I'm still waiting on an 88 poster. The one that I want, out of stock, but it'll hang over here above the bed basically, and I think it's a 3 foot poster too. I think it'll look nice on that wood wall, but I think there's a couple new people in here. I'll kind of show you. I showed them on Instagram. But I kind of cleaned up the room a little bit, my closet. Obviously, it's not the same though. RO system's over there. And then I kind of reorganized everything on the desk. So obviously, I got all my ADA soil stacked up all neatly now. And then I basically just got rid of everything I don't need. So now I just have whatever's out is what I actually use. So obviously, got a net, scrapers, nets, tubing, pipe cleaners. Obviously, I got all our food. And then our main stuff, so obviously I got my tools hanged up, so basically all my tanks are out here, so all I have to do is walk into this door, boom, it's all right there. So I got all my tools hanging up there, I got my 2 checkers, and obviously all my ferts and whatever other supplements I need. And then all my ADA substrate additives all right here, and then obviously other dosing stuff, green grain plus, ECA, other stuff that I dose here and there. And then obviously extra ferts to when these get empty. Then obviously I got my glass cleaner station here. Obviously fill this up with water, a couple of caps of this. Gets all your glass lily pipes and glassware all nice and shiny again. pH solution. So basically it's everything all nice in front of me now. Then obviously we got our fish fam board here. Everybody's channel stickers up here. Got about 500 people at this point. Still got a little L to fill in, and then this one will be filled. But I got basically like every reefer and freshwater YouTuber almost got about everybody at this point. Even companies, I got Boost Plant, Flip Aquatics, Norfin, Corman Co-op. Who else do I got that's big on here? GHL's on here. Waterbox. I got Hannah Checker sent me one. GLA sent me one. Castle sent me one. GLA sent me another one. Jungle, Aqua Shrimp shipped me one. That's a big company. Got quite a few big companies on here. But yeah, they saw that I was doing this, and a lot of them sent me their stickers. Pretty cool. But yeah, then the rest are just like YouTubers and stuff. But yeah. Pretty cool. Yeah, I got the 45C 90P. And also we got that tank and that tank. Let's see. Do I worry about any of those products expiring? The only thing I keep up on, well, not really keep. The only thing I really watch out for is the food. and that's usually about a couple years. But the rest of that doesn't really expire. Yeah, like a lot of the like obviously the fertilizer I go through every month. I have to buy it every month anyways. But like the ADA substrate and some of those other additives, those are pretty much good forever. I mean, they're never really gonna go bad. But like, and then of course, like I was saying, the fertilizer I replace every month anyways, so I don't really have to worry about that ever getting. But then like like the other additives like Excel and stability, I use those so often that I have to replace them very often anyways. So there's not really nothing that's gonna last that long to even expire anyway. So yeah, I don't really have to worry about much expiring because everything gets replaced so often. The food would be the big one though, but I usually keep on that pretty good. Where am I from? I'm from the United States. Good old USA. Looking good. What are you planning on keeping all those plant tanks? So the 45C, I'm not actually sure like stock wise what I want to do in there. I might bring back my puffers. I got a Stridenti puffer and I got an Amazon puffer. That could be the tank for it. I don't know. I mean, I could actually. It just I don't know. It just depends. It depends on the scape, what I'm feeling. But so that one's kind of up for grabs. The other two tanks that I was showing you, the smaller ones, those will be shrimp tanks. There might be like a small nano school of something in there also. I don't know yet, but guaranteed there's gonna be shrimp in there. And then obviously this tank is already stocked. We have a school of like 40 Ember Tetras. We have some Corridoras. We have some Autocinklus. We have some Mono Shrimp. We have some Nearite Snails. And I think I got a Pandagara. That's about it. Oh, and I do have one Siamese algae eater in there, but he's not really a permanent option. He's just in there for now. But yeah. But then like my 120 piece that'll be coming. Probably this time next year. Um, the plan for that tank for now is like a huge score of rummy noses. I think that looked pretty sweet. I like rummy noses, but they're on the bigger side, especially at least for these tanks. So I think that 120 piece is gonna be the perfect tank for big score rummies. Have a school like 40 or 50 of those. That would look awesome. Rummy noses is rummy nose is probably actually my top fish, top schooler. I wouldn't say it's my absolute favorite fish. My absolute favorite fish is probably autocinklus. I love autocinklus. I don't care if they. I'm not really. I don't really care if they. I don't really keep them for really, like algae eating or a cleaner crew. I really don't keep them for that reason. I mean, they do great at that, but I mostly just keep autocinklus because I like them so much. Um, that's probably my all-time favorite fish is autocinklus, and probably after that, probably pygmy cories is my second, and then probably third is rummy noses, my top three fish. It probably changes, but at the moment, those are my favorite. But let's see. Phone is slowly dying. But yeah, the channel's gonna be changing quite a bit here soon. Once we start getting all these tanks all set up, there'll be a lot more videos. You'll see me more often for sure. Obviously we've been uploading weekly for 5 years straight now, so it's gonna be a lot different uploading, multiple times. But it'll be exciting times. A lot of new projects. Be a lot of videos to do. Yeah, but hopefully all of them turn out pretty nice. I'm pretty I'm pretty confident on the escapes on like the nanos. It's just this 45C. I just don't know how it's gonna turn out. I know what I'm gonna do for the escape. I just don't know how it's gonna turn out though. It either way. I mean, I'm pretty good. Even if it doesn't turn out the best, I mean, I can turn anything into something. But I'm hoping it comes to life of what I think it's gonna look like. If it does, it's gonna look pretty sweet. I think. How often do I stream? It just depends. Like next, not not this coming week, but next week I'll be right back out of town for work, so I won't be streaming. But usually I try to stream like once a week. I try, like on the weekends or sometime in the middle of the week. I might even do it more often if I'm not working, but at least try to do at least once a week just to answer questions. Come on here for an hour or so. This is the first one I've seen, and it's been really good to watch the whole thing. Well, thanks. I appreciate sticking it that long. I didn't think people watched me for that long, to be honest. I know I'm not the most entertaining. Not the most energetic person on YouTube, that's for sure. That's another thing I'm going to try to, kind of a goal for myself for, YouTube going on, just kind of make my channel a little more interactive and just put myself out there more. Because before I never, like I would show myself before in like old videos, and then I just totally stopped because I just didn't think there was any point in it. I mean, usually people come to watch my videos for the tanks and fish, so I didn't really think I needed to express my actual self. But now that I've kind of done this for 5-6 years now, finally this past like 6 months, I finally recording videos again, with me in the picture, and especially in the streams too, just kind of being more interactive. I think it's better for people that way too, especially for the subscribers. Actually have a face to the name, because for the longest time, especially when I started gaining a lot of quite a bit more views and subscribers, I mean, some people knew who I was, but for the majority, 80% of my people didn't know. So hopefully, and I have seen a big increase, in subscribers and actually people subscribing too. Just actually, seeing people seeing you on camera, and it does make a difference. Let's see. But yeah, like I was saying earlier, yeah, so this tank for the ADA contest, that will be for the ADA contest coming April. I don't know when I'm going to take my final shots yet, but the contest for entries, you got till April, till I think June 1st, so as long as I'm submitting it anytime there. And then basically I'll tear this tank down and then rescape it, but hopefully I'll get enough photo stone from my big order. I ordered like 300 pounds, so hopefully I get rocks from that I can use in this tank too. If not, then I'll have to order more when the time comes, probably another 200-300 pounds, but hopefully they'll send some pretty big nice pieces. I think they are. They're sending about 14-inch pieces for one of my orders, so hopefully I can use a lot of those for that tank, because photostone definitely has a lot more detail. It looks pretty sick if you use it right, and it doesn't change the parameters, so definitely a step up than that 200 pounds worth of serious stone. Raises your KH and GH like crazy. No. But yeah, if you guys have any more questions, definitely let me know, because I'll probably, I've been streaming. Phone's about to die, plus it's, probably call it good in here in about 5 minutes, so I can kind of get some more work done and continue what I'm doing. But just want to come on here. I know people always have questions, so just come on here and get some question answers for some people. It's always better just to talk in person than through direct message and all that. Especially when I can actually show you what I'm talking about too. It just helps the visual workers. Let's see. Thanks, Nicholas. Thanks for everybody for watching. I appreciate everybody that's came a part of it. Yeah, I'm just gonna run CO2 and everything. I've had my run on YouTube with low tech tanks. I might eventually do a low tech just for YouTube purposes, but all the tanks you see will have CO2 for sure, though. And if we ever want to switch it up, but yeah, everything will have CO2. That 60F, the one the one I was showing you guys, the longer one, honestly, that could go without CO2 to be honest, because the plants I'm going to be using aren't really needed. But I'll just go ahead and put CO2. But it'll mostly just, I mean, the most demanding plant I'm going to have in there is Monte Carlo, and even that's not that demanding. It's all going to be a boost and a Nubius, and that's about it. Basically, plants that you can attach to wood is all I'm going to use. Real low tech tanks, real low tech plants, I mean. And of course, we'll have, like I was saying, plants growing out the corner of the tank, but even then, most of those aren't going to be very demanding. Just some stems. But yeah, the only other plans is I'll replace this light. Obviously, this twin star has done me good, and it'll grow. I mean, it's grown any plant that you put under it, but I'm definitely going to switch it out for a solar RGB for sure when I rescape it. Hopefully, I can order that. I should have took the deal. Somebody had a deal of lifetime on a solar RGB on eBay. I mean, barely used, had it for basically half off, and I was just putting it off and putting it off, and somebody bought it before I did. I should have bought it, but either way, I mean, don't matter. I'll still end up getting one. I think they're coming out with a brand new one, so hopefully they come out with one soon, or come out with that version soon. Because I definitely want. I'll put it on this tank for sure. Other than that, that's probably. I do want to upgrade the filtration to a superjet on this tank too, but I mean that's not really needed honestly. I mean the OWATS has done me pretty good. And especially when I rescape it, there won't be as much fish in the next scape if at all. I'll keep the Ember Tetras. That'll be my main school for that rescape, and I'll keep those. But I'll still keep the Amanos, the Autosynchronous, and probably the Neorites. But everything else will probably be gone, which isn't much. I mean, it would just be the corridors, and um, I do have a Pandagara. And I thought that Siamese algae eater too is in there. He's getting pretty big, getting fat. But yeah, it'll be exciting to finally redo that tank. I mean, it's not bad, but I know I can do so much better too at the end of the day. But yeah, that'd be good. Got a year out of this tank and try something new. Show you guys some up close real quick before I go. Some of the fish. Oh, I will feed them before I go too. But yeah, so we got the big school of embers. They don't show up as red on camera, but they are really red. There's my Panagara. He's pretty sweet. See if anything else is out. I don't see anything. Getting tired. Some Amanos back there. Some Amanos. See, there's an Amano shirt. I'll see Autosynchronous. Autosynchronous. But yeah, my Siamese algae eater. You see that little cave in there? He dug that cave. He has a little home under that rock. It's actually pretty cool. And you can see, you can actually see inside of it a little bit. Who knows how big that is under there? He probably has a whole house under there. That's probably why I never see him. Yeah. I think the top view of this tank is the best from above. It looks really cool. Yeah, for the people that don't really watch this tank at all. So obviously we got a Biomaster 600 running this tank, and then obviously our CO2 setup, 5-pound cylinder with the GLA regulator. And yeah, that's about it. Obviously go into our new diffuser there. But yeah, those tubes run up to the side and then to our lily pipes. Yeah, pretty simple. And thanks, Richard. These two, I ordered them as Anubias of Pete, and I'm telling you now, that is not Anubias of Pete, because I've had Anubias of Pete in my old 20, and the leaves are so much smaller. Like, look how big these leaves are. Like, that is not Anubias of Pete. I don't know what they sent me, but I mean, it's grown. I mean, this one's like triple in size since I've gotten it, but it definitely just kind of throws off the scale, though, for sure. Oh, why this light? Light's bright. Kind of see this big old white blob. I don't know why it's doing that. Yeah, all the other equipment we have is, oh, it's coming on right now. But got the inhibitor, and then we got the skimmer, and then obviously got a high door wave pump. This just comes on after the CO2 turns off. Well, thanks for coming out. I really appreciate hanging out with me for the past hour. So yeah, I'm about to get off myself, but yeah, thanks for coming. And I'm sure I'll see you. This won't be the last time I see you on the streams. Yeah, I appreciate for coming out. Let's see. Yeah, so I think I'll end it here, guys. I'm sorry for the people that just joined. I have like 4 more people just joined out of nowhere, so I'm sorry for that. But this stream will be uploaded, so you guys will be able to, if anybody's interested, you will be able to watch it. I'll have it uploaded to YouTube. But yeah, if you have any other questions, you could definitely let me know in any of my videos on the comment section, or if you want to follow my Instagram at JJ I'll definitely answer any questions you guys got there. But if you guys need me, I'm always here. But other than that, see you guys in the next one. #FishFam.